What's going on, y'all? Supreme Reviews here, coming back at you with another video. I know it's been a while, but lots happened in the last couple of weeks. I just turned 21, so yeah, I'm now officially legal. It's a pretty nice feeling. Go legally buy beer and not have to worry about showing my med card at every single shop now. So yeah, it's easier to buy weed, easier to do pretty much everything in life. So yeah, I just got back from Vegas, so in this video, I think we're going to talk about that, my Vegas trip, and why I personally think weed's essential to a good Vegas trip. Because, yeah, it is. It made my trip a whole hell of a lot better. With that being said, I'm going to take a dab and get right into it. This is some Forbidden Fruit by Can Organics. Hope y'all have been good. Again, if you like the content, please like, subscribe, comment, share with your friends, all that good shit. Cheers. Okay, so first of all, I had a great time in Vegas. Las Vegas is awesome. The people are interesting, mostly nice, but interesting to say the least. There's a lot of shit to do. It's pretty much open all night, which is like the opposite of here. Located in Washington, so if you guys have ever been here for any extended period of time, then you guys know that the state pretty much closes down at like 9 p.m. Like, nothing's really open past 9. That's pretty much just how it is. It's unfortunate. So when we go to Vegas and everything's open all fucking night and the lights are on and everything like that, it's pretty cool. Like, there are so many things to do in Las Vegas at night, and that was probably the highlight of the trip, was just being able to be out all the time. I love walking, so then it was flat, so it was easy to walk and traverse the entire strip, which was really nice. But here's why I think like weed is essential to having a good trip, because of the amount of fucking people and shit you have to kind of see and deal with. So I would estimate on my weekend there, I was there on a Saturday night through Tuesday. On that Saturday night and Sunday, there were probably 20,000 people on the strip, just walking, which is just insane to me. To think, coming from Washington, yeah, we have Seattle, but I don't think there's ever been 20,000 people besides when our teams win a championship. There's never been 20,000 people in the streets. So it's pretty cool to be out in that, but also it can be overwhelming. So smoking weed in that situation is really helpful because it helps you process all the input, like all the sensory input, all the people breathing on you and fucking brushing into you, touching you on accident, fucking talking to you, all that shit. Weed helps kind of deflect that and like keep the negativity away. At least for me personally, it helps with that. So yeah, the crowds really helps with the crowds. Like I just said earlier, the sensory shit. There's a lot of sounds. There's a lot of lights. There's just a lot of shit happening like all at once. So for somebody like me, that's overwhelming normally. So I need weed to help process that. Weed helped tremendously. I never had one moment where I felt overwhelmed. There were moments where I was like, man, if I wasn't high right now, this would be tough to deal with. But thank God I have weed. So yeah, honestly, like, weed is essential to a good Las Vegas trip, in my opinion. So, and also, this is one thing I will say. I brought weed from Washington, so I wouldn't, and I recommend doing that. I wouldn't buy weed in Vegas. Why? Well, weed in Nevada, I guess in Las Vegas especially, is just really expensive. So, and the quality is kind of lower than Washington, I would say, in some aspects. So maybe, if you're going to travel and you happen to live in a legal state, I would buy weed in my legal state, then fly with it. It's just easier, and there's no real pot shops on the strip. Like a lot of people might think that there are, but there really aren't any pot shops. And if you want to be Ubering everywhere, that's fine, but Uber and taxis is expensive, and I do not recommend renting a car when you're in Vegas. So if you want to buy weed down there, then that's just an extra Uber trip, and that's money you could be spending on drinks or food or gambling or whatever. So yeah, I would definitely plan on bringing your weed. Like, and also another thing I'm gonna say about Vegas is I wouldn't stay more than, I mean, if you stay for a week, you gotta be fucking insane, honestly. But I would say 4 nights is kind of the maximum. Maybe 5 if you're really pushing it, but 4 nights, after that, okay, I need a break. Like, it's a lot of shit. So, if you want to have just enough Vegas to where when you're done, you're craving more, but you're not like, okay, fuck this shit, then I would say about 3 to 4 nights is right in the sweet spot. Because there's just so much to do there, and yeah, but it all costs money, so you got to make sure too you bring a lot of money. Because I went down with, not gonna put him on blast, but if he watches this, he'll know who he is. Went down with one of my buddies for this Vegas trip, and his job kind of screwed him over, so he didn't have much coin, and that kind of sucked, because then we couldn't gamble as much or go to the nicer restaurants or anything like that. And shit's expensive down there. Like, you can do it cheaply, but if you want to do Vegas right, be prepared to, sorry about that, be prepared to spend money, because if you don't, and like, if you're worried about spending money the entire time and like pinching pennies, then you're not going to have a good time. When you go to Vegas, the best advice I can give you is be prepared to not worry about the money you spend when you're down there. I mean, don't be dumb, but you can't be sitting there counting pennies. Then you're just never going to have fun doing that, because you're going to be worried all the time. And you cannot be worried about money in Vegas. You just can't. It's it's going to take away from the overall experience of kind of just being able to feel like a fat cat and live like a rich person for a weekend, or however long you're staying there. Because that's the whole point of Vegas, in my opinion, is it's kind of like a manufactured experience. Like, the whole thing's manufactured, but it's brilliant in a lot of ways. Like, when you fly in, you see nothing but desert, pretty much, some mountains here and there. But you see nothing but desert, and then you see this fucking big city, Las Vegas, just in the middle of essentially nowhere and nothing. And you see all these green patches of grass, and you're like, well, we're in the desert, so that's definitely not natural. But it's cool, and it's kind of interesting to see humans were able to cultivate and develop a piece of property like Vegas and turn it into the place that it is today. And yeah, I mean, these are the things I guess I would recommend doing. I didn't do any of the shows. I will say this is my first time going. I didn't do any of the shows. I'm going to go back ASAP. I plan on taking a shit ton of weekend trips there because it's a 2-hour flight. But what I would recommend doing is just, the biggest thing is just walking the strip. That's it. Walk the strip, you know, bring some money, be ready, to sit down at a couple tables and gamble or what have you. What I will say this, if you're gonna gamble, try not to gamble on the strip because a lot of the casinos on the strip, like their odds are not very good. Um, if you play blackjack, they pay you 6 to 5, which if you guys play blackjack or are familiar with it, know that that's a worse payout than traditional blackjack, which pays 3 to 2. So essentially, when you get a blackjack in traditional blackjack, you're supposed to get paid 1.5 times your money, 3 to 2. But on the strip, it's 5 to 6. So less of a payout if you get blackjack, and they're auto shuffling like 8 decks. So your odds just go down significantly as a player with a setup like that. Your odds to win against the casino. But if you go to Fremont Street, aka Old Town, then you can find hotels like the Four Queens and the El Cortez. I gambled at the El Cortez, and they had single deck blackjack, 3 to 2 odds, $10 minimum table. So that is insane, to think about how you go from 8 decks on the strip and it's auto shuffled. So that means there's a shuffle machine versus in Old Town, you have a manual shuffle. So the dealer is shuffling it manually. Manual shuffle, single deck, 3 to 2 blackjack, $10 minimum. And then on the strip, it's $25 minimum. So just such a better setup for real gambling in Old Town. And you can make some money. Like I tripled my money playing blackjack there my last night. I was up 5 times my money, but shit happens, you lose, and I told myself I wasn't gonna pull out with less than 3 times my money, so I pulled out with 3 times my money, and was a successful night. So yeah, we'll recap. I know this video's kind of been all over the place and rambly, but that's the way I like doing my videos because I kind of want it to feel like you guys are just sitting here talking with me, because it's essentially what it is. I'm just like whenever I make a video, I just feel like talking. So just turn the camera on and talk. But yeah, a little recap. Bring money, okay? Weed is essential to a good trip, and gamble in Old Town. That's really it. If you do those 3 things, then you're gonna have a great time. It's everyone that says Vegas isn't for them. Look, I get it, I guess, if it isn't for you, but I gotta say, I feel like you're just not doing it right, or you don't have the right mindset about it. Like, have a better mindset about it, and then maybe you'll have a better time, like, the amount of people that are there that are entertaining in and of themselves is probably more than any place I've ever seen. Meaning, the people watching is fucking amazing. There's crazy homeless people. There's weird regular people that are just fucking down in their luck. Just lost thousands of dollars. Just whatever. There's a guy that just won $1 million. There's whatever you could think of is walking down the street. And they're all kinds of races, all shapes, sizes. Literally any person you can think of is at the strip. And it's fucking cool because I like diversity and I like seeing all the different kinds of people that like the world makes or has to offer, I guess. So yeah, definitely people watch. And I didn't bring my girlfriend this time, and next time I'm going to. It's definitely a good place for couples. So bring your significant other if you have one. But also take a trip without them so you know what it's like without them. But I would say you're going to have a better time if you bring them. With that, I'm going to take a dab, probably end the video. So, cheers. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Again, if you did, just like, comment, subscribe, share with your friends, all that jazz. I really appreciate you guys. I know I haven't been good with the consistency, but I just, I've been busy, and I don't ever want this to feel like something that like I'm forcing myself to do, or I'm not going to want to do it anymore. And I know, I'll just drop the dab. I know that's not what you guys want, and it's certainly not what I want. So I feel like when I don't upload, it's kind of doing everybody a favor, because then you don't get a piece of content that you feel like is like being pulled out of me. But yeah, cheers.